A historical prelude, a brief history of Eranshar. The Iranian world was many times larger than the modern-day state of Iran. There are many branches to the Iranian family of languages, cultures spreading over a wide geographical space and over a vast expanse of time. At one time, ca. 500 BCE, this realm encompassed lands from Eastern Europe to the borders of India. In this brief history of Eranshar, before 1500, we can only emphasize the basic phase of the history of this enormous culture and highlight several of the major cultural and linguistic groups within this culture. The purpose of this historical prelude is to give a context for the ideas discussed in this book and provide readers with a sense of orientation within this often bewildering garden of historical delights. As most readers are probably aware, the Iranians are a subset of the Indo-European cultural and linguistic world. It is known that some 6,000 years ago or so, there was a group of people who spoke a single language or set of dialects so closely related that they were mutually intelligible. And from this prehistoric body of people, a whole array of current languages and cultures were derived. The Indic, Iranian, Tocharian, Armenian, Hittite, Slavic, Germanic, Celtic, Hellenic, and Italic. So the ancient Greeks, Romans, Gauls, Germans, Slavs, Indians, and Persians are all related, all descended, linguistically and culturally, from the same root or trunk. This explains their similarities in language, religion, myth, and culture, and the special relationships, both cooperative and antagonistic, that these cultures have had with each other over the millennia. They all belong to a single ancient family. The original homeland of the Indo-Europeans was most probably the forest and steppes of what is now the Ukraine, north of the Black Sea and the west of the Caspian. They were the first to domesticate the horse and to use the wheel. They were among the first to smelt harder metals such as copper and bronze. They had a particular social organization led by judges, kings, and poet magicians, populated with warriors, and supported by providers and craftsmen. This tripartite social organization was mirrored by the mythical social order of their gods and goddesses. From early on, the Indo-Europeans, or as some called themselves, Aryans, were capable of migrating over the vast expanses of space, propelled by their horses, and able to move considerable amounts of equipment in wagons over land. They migrated to Upper Asia Minor, present-day Turkey, and Europe to the west and beyond the Caspian Sea to the east. The eastern branch, called Indo-Iranians, first coalesced to the east of the Caspian Sea, and from them the Indic branch split off and went further eastward into what is now India. The Proto-Iranians remained in this region around the Caspian and Aral Seas for a time. It was during this period that the prophet Zarathustra lived. In this homeland, there was already friction between pastoralists who herded cattle and rode horse across the steppes, and the agriculturally based farmers who lived in the vicinity of urbanized areas. There were early cities in the region of the Oxus River. Just before approximately 1000 BC, while some of the Iranian peoples continued a nomadic life and spread out to the north across the steppes, others made their way to the south and west. Those of the north became the North Iranians, the Scythians, Sarmatians, and Alans. In the northeast, the Kurds and Parthians to the northwest. And at the same time, some others remain in the region of the original homeland are the bases of the East Iranians, Sogdians, Sakaz. Others began to migrate to the southwest and on to what is now called the Iranian plateau of the modern-day Iran. These became the South Iranians, Medes, Persians. In the north, where wide open spaces and a few other peoples with Wam to compete latter formidable challenges would come from the Turkic and Mongolian peoples who learned the ways of the horse, culture, and the North Iranian clans. To the south and the west, however, the early Iranians immediately confronted the well-established civilizations of the Elamites and the Assyrians.